Hello Baby Gangstas, this is Calvin, also known as Romer, and this is the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. This is my first ever playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We're continuing on with our adventure. I'm so glad to be in love with this game again, I really am. It's like, means the world to me to be playing another Ace Attorney game in any way, shape, or form. And it's the 17th of April, 12:41 PM, the Old Bailey. Defendant's Antechamber. Who are you with? Our girl Gina, how are you doing, girl? Gina, how are you holding up? I'm starting to feel quite warmly towards her frequent cold shoulders now. Ginny! Are you alright? Why aren't you saying anything? What's the point, eh? Why go to this trouble and fight so hard for the likes of me? See, this is the problem, Gina. You've been told that you're not worth fighting for. They said it in there. She's just a common criminal, right? But like, you know, everyone who has a good heart, everyone who wants to be helped and is, you know, I guess like a person who is like a good person at heart deserves help. You know what I mean? And even at that stage, like, you know, I'm going to lend out a hand, like, especially for someone like you, Gina, who's been very, very respectable to us as well. What? Well, you saw it, that picture. What picture? Ah, you mean this? This photograph taken by Hurley's red-handed recorder? Girl, that just makes you cooler. Well, I didn't think it would have captured a scene like this, but that's for sure. It's hopeless. Anyone who sees that gonna think I did it, ain't they? Well, I won't pretend it wasn't a bit of a shock when the prosecution first presented it to the court. Surely you've got to have your doubts about me now. You can't still think I'm innocent. No, I think you're innocent. I think you're very much innocent. Ginny, why don't you talk to us? Tell us what really happened that night. Eh? Bruno's cleverly managed to piece together a lot of new information, but still, we'd really like to hear from you. Alright then. It was after we had that dinner together at your place, right, Iris? Then we all had a chat up in your office, didn't we? Yes, I remember. We remember this very specifically, actually. After that, I just couldn't get to sleep. That's one of the things that, like, you know, like, when people are like, when you get back to Ace Attorney Chronicles, you need a primer, do you need a recap, do you need something like this? The story is incredibly memorable. It's really hard to forget some of the aspects of this game, and, like, honestly, like, it's like so many moments, like, even when they say it even once, it's like, oh, I remember exactly what happened here, which is why I skipped a few recaps in the last episode, because, like, I remember it. You guys for sure remember it. After I just couldn't get to sleep. So I slipped out and went down the street to the 2 to 1, the Windy Banks place. I had to know if Iris saw he was there or not. The Hound of Baskervilles. Beautiful art style as well. I don't know what it's about or nothing, but if you ask me, there's something in it that Sholmes don't like. Something what you don't want people reading. So that's why I lied to Iris by sticking it in a log with Windy Banks for safekeeping. At least that's what I thought at the time. So you broke into Windy Banks? I just had to know if he was there or not. I mean, I had no idea all that was going to kick off, did I? Another theme of this game, thinking that adults are liars. Gina's very much in that respect, which is why she's so hard to trust us as well. Even someone who's helping her out, which is such a good character, like, writing, I think. You know, she's trusting even she's hard to trust even the people that are helping her. Which, again, just good writing. I struck the lock and snuck inside. It was dark, as you like in there. So I gave an oil lamp on the counter a bit of a wick, and that's when... What do you think you're doing? I nearly died, I did. And next thing I knew... I grabbed the gun off the counter and was waving in the air like... I don't know what. Also, she was frightened. Ah, you're the girl who was in your this afternoon. I didn't think pickpockets went in for armed robbery. The manuscript? Manuscript, have you got it here? The show leaves a lot of paper for you, a story. I beg your pardon? The Hound of the something or other. It's here, I want to see it. I'm sorry, young lady, but I'd sooner die than relinquish an article belonging to one of my customers. I don't want it. What would I do with it anyway? I just want to see it here, that's all.
Oh, you ought to see it, do you?
I want to know if Sean's really pointed at you or not. Please, just let me see it, and I'll go.
Oh, very well then. But for pity's sake, stop waving my gun around, would you?
See, even he understood that this girl was just like not a killer. You know what I mean? So then the old cove unlocked the storeroom door and we both went inside. And it was there alright. The manuscript shows one line after all. You did all just to check for me, Ginny? Anyway, then there was a bit of a kick-up on a bit of the shop. The Skulkin brothers arriving on the scene, yes? What was that noise? Someone's breaking in.
Dear me, is there some burglars convention here tonight that I don't know about?
I think I forgot to shut the door behind me, sorry.
I better go take care of it. Could I possibly have my gun back?
Oh, well, I'll come with you and...
Now don't be foolish, young girl. You must stay right here. Don't leave this room under any circumstances.
Oh, he's actually a good dude. Very good dude. And with that, he took the gun out of my hands and walked back into the shop. I went back into the storm like he said, straining my ears in the dark to hear what's going on. It sounded like they'd gone to a bit of a scrap. I sort of think I should help, see? So I was just about to go to the store myself when... Bang, bang. I heard a couple of shots go off. 2, I think. Almost at the same time. And then there was... right at my feet. Lying face down on the floor. I was right next to the storeroom door, so I slammed it shut and locked it quick as you like.
Because you thought whoever had shot Mr. Windybank might come for you?
Yeah, so I went to grab the old cove's gun. I figured if I put up a fight at least.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we thought.
When I got a better look at him, I knew. Windybank was a goner.
Traumatic experience for Gina. Really traumatic experience.
I felt funny in my head all of a sudden, kind of dizzy. And after that, I don't remember nothing.
It must be when you passed out, Gina.
If I hadn't done what I'd done, the old cove might still be alive.
You can't think that way, girl. Like, you know, yeah, it's true, but like, you can't think that way. Those Skulkin brothers were gonna come in no matter what. They were aiming to find something. They were aiming to rob something. But like, again, like, there's so many chain reactions. Like, literally, you deciding to go to the shop at 3 o'clock versus 4 o'clock will have a chain reaction to something. You know what I mean? It has a chance to change something. You might meet someone in the street that you weren't supposed to meet. And literally, you could think, I met that person in the street, I delayed them a bit, they went home, and then they got attacked or something. You know, I know it's a really grim way of looking at it, but like, that's, you know, that happens. That's exactly what, and you're gonna be thinking that because you want, you know, we always tend to blame ourselves for stuff like this if you kind of have that way of thinking. I should have gone to town at 3 o'clock when I was gonna go. Why did I wait? I should have just went in the rain. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. You can't think about stuff like that, though. Did you tell the police everything you just told us? Of course I did, but they didn't believe a word of it, did they? I believe it because it's exactly what I thought happened. And instead, if I kept telling lies, it'd make things even worse for me. You know why I believe Gina as well? She will give every chance she can to badmouth an adult. She made Windybank look like a goddamn hero here. You know what I mean? She's not lying. It'll be alright, Ginny. Don't worry. Just stay strong a little longer. Runa's about to put the real culprit through the mill. That cove, what was there in the afternoon? That Egg Benedict. Eggs Benedict.
I still remember how he looked at me like I was nothing.
You're nothing?
He was there that night.
We don't know his real name yet, but I'm convinced that he's involved somehow. Anyway, thank you for telling us what happened, Gina. I appreciate your honesty.
You what? You can leave it all in Runo's capable hands now, Ginny. Mr. Naruto?
Yes?
How come you trust me?
I don't get it. She breaks my freaking heart 10 times over every day of the goddamn week. She breaks my heart.
I mean, have you forgotten what happened here before? Come on, it was only 2 months ago. Me and McGilded, we told you the whole pack of lies. And you got bug shot off with him, even though he was a killer.
No, I can never forget that.
Oh.
I did what I thought was best at the time, but the pain of that error of judgment doesn't get any easier to bear, yeah? Still, don't forget that I also made you promise. This is also like a theme in most Ace Attorney games, not just like this Ace Attorney game. What tends to happen is characters will like feel a massive amount of pain for something that they did, and it like, again, like the chain reaction. We did this, they made this. We got this person off. We shouldn't have done this. Because a lot of this game is about choices, and a lot of this being a lawyer is about like choosing who and not to. I guess in some cases you can't choose who you want to defend, but you get what I'm saying. I told you that I'd be on your side to the bitter end no matter what.
What if I'm lying? You could be working to get another killer off Duck, you know?
I was once in your position, Gina. I was the accused in the trial. This is great as well. Yeah, bring this back too. You were? Before I left Japan, I was accused of murder. And strange as it might sound, the circumstances of the crime were pretty damning. Yeah, I think even more damning than Gina's. No, maybe not. They both held a gun to someone. I'm sure that no one believed me if it wasn't me who'd done it.
Oh, Bruno.
But there's one person who stood up for me. Oh no! I was prepared to defend me. My best friend. Yeah. Ryunosuke. No one believes in you more than I do. Leave this to me. All you need is to put your faith in me and I'll do the rest. He like died in like the weirdest like unceremonious like circumstance. I was so happy I cried. But even then, somewhere inside me, I couldn't help thinking, surely he doesn't really believe in me. Not completely. But I was wrong. That's your boyfriend right there, my friend. That's your boyfriend. Oh my god. Like, I know like it was long ago for me personally, but it feels so long ago.
That an absolute unwavering belief in me.
And in turn, I developed an absolute unwavering belief in him. Since then, I came to realize, if you want someone to believe in you, you have to believe in the other person first.
What are you saying?
I promise you, Gina, that no matter what happens, I'll keep believing in you. So you don't need to worry. I won't let you down.
Even though I'm a diva? And a no good lawyer?
You're not like McGilded. I know that.
That's right, you are a friend, Ginny.
Iris, we know you better. This is a great scene. This is really great. I'm come to the conclusion that you're someone we can trust. That's really all we need to know. Like, yeah, Ryunosuke, you know, transferring that trust that someone had in him back to Gina is like why we love Ryunosuke so much. He is literally the best boy. Exactly.
Miss Naruto,
Oh, don't, you can cry if you want, actually. It's okay, it's good to cry. Defending Lady Gina Lestrade, a legal representative, nipple hat myself. Court proceedings about to resume. Please head to the courtroom immediately. Yes, of course, thank you. Gina, pickpocket him when you're on the way in, if you can. I'd been both a defendant and a defendant lawyer in my time, yep. So I knew only too well just how hard it was to put all your faith in another. I also knew just how hard it was to bear the burden of another putting all their faith in you. This is it at last, the final chapter, the final battle. Wish me luck, Susato-san. And I hope you're watching me over two-parter. He is. He is. We're going straight into the trial now as well.
These are like, can I just say, whenever I'm in a trial in any game, whether it's Phoenix Wright or the Ace Attorney Chronicles or coming up the Apollo Justice trilogy, can I say without beyond a shadow of a doubt, like I literally like get so anxious and upset and angry because like this is like I get into it. It's like you get so into this, especially when it's the 17th of April at 1:41 p.m. at the Old Bailey courtroom. Oh, it's the Skulkin brothers again. I hereby call this court to order as we resume the trial of Miss Gina Lestray. Lord Van Zeeks, have you successfully subpoenaed the witness? The subpoena was delivered to the communication station where the man works immediately, my lord. However, the heavy rain has delayed the arrival of his carriage, it would seem. I see. Then let us turn our attention. Doing these voices makes me yawn all the time. Then let us turn our attention to Inspector Grigson. Proceeds of the case heard by the court this morning. The glaring omission of the third bulletin report is a serious blunder, Inspector. Oh, yes, I can only apologize, my lord. And although the defense chemical analysis of blood as seen makes for a compelling argument, I cannot permit such untried methods to be used as evidence in my courtroom. Can I just say something to you, Judge, right? This is a factual statement, right? The court will literally say, the Van Zeeks will literally go, that's a preposterous thing you said there, and not explain why, and then you will literally go bang the gavel and be like, oh, I guess he's guilty, no, he's guilty. Big garbage truck outside. Thank God the microphone's good enough, I don't think it'll pick it up. It's a big mistake to cross Hurley and me. A very big mistake. Yeah, she's gonna shoot you. My lord! The subpoena witness has just arrived in the building. Thank you, officer. Show him to the stand without delay. Mr. Edgar Benedict, I didn't expect you crossing paths with him so soon, and certainly not like this. Hopefully we can get him on the stand with, the Skulkin brothers, because he's the fourth Skulkin brother, for sure. Thank you for complying with the court's subpoena at such short notice, sir.
But of course, my lord. And as an upstanding member of the London Society, it is my pleasure to oblige.
Now kindly state your name and occupation for the record.
Ashley Graydon, Communications Officer. Mr. Graydon and I both work in London Central Communication Station. Now perhaps somebody will kindly explain what all this is about.
You, sir, are a murderer. You were apprised of the situation by the court officer on your way in, I presume.
Yes, I was. Something to do with a murder that took place at the pawnbroker of Baker Street. And some nonsense about me having been there on the night in question.
That is the accusation, indeed.
This really is beyond a joke, you know.
Very well, without further delay, the court will hear your testimony now, Mr. Graydon. You will respond to the accusation made against you under oath.
Okay. You can't dance, by the way. Gladly, my lord. Gladly. Naturally, I have the occasion to make use of a pawnbroking service from time to time. But are you seriously suggesting I colluded with these thugs to break into the place on the night of the murder? I have no intention of admitting to such an outrageous accusation. Admitting? So you did do it! Even if certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene.
Oh, because you have two we're going to press so far, the admitting thing and this one as well.
Some Scaramouche detective's homebrewed tincture can hardly be taken as serious evidence. I'm pressing that as well. You hear me? You don't say that about my boy.
So you deny the accusation completely, do you?
I must say, I am dismayed. For the highest court in the land to be swayed by this self-professed detective's toy. It was the will of the jury, and our great British justice system demands that the jury's will is upheld. Then it would seem we have the misfortune of the most inept assembly of jurors today.
Jeez, I can't believe there's three of us agree on this now. By golly!
How long am I expected to be detained here?
If following the defense's cross-examination your involvement in this matter has not been established, you will be free to leave immediately.
Good. Then I shall be away in time for afternoon tea. Some small consolation at least. Let us not hold up Mr. Graydon any longer than necessary, counsel. Proceed with the cross-examination.
I genuinely, by the way, when I used to hear this in Ace Attorney games, I used to be like, that's so ridiculous. It's apparently very true that, like, when there's not, like, a boatload of evidence for a certain person, like, to come in and be subpoenaed, what tends to happen is that, like, they go like, hey, like, you know, we're not going to waste time here for this person. If you have no one else to say of merit, they're going right now. You can't just keep them here forever. Not only that, but, like, they're also conscious of, like, timing for everyone, the jury, for people. It's a real thing that they are, you know, they don't want to waste time. They don't want to keep people away from their families for too long. So they do put even time limits on trials sometimes, which is if they're not, like, too serious, I suppose. So we meet again, Mr. Eggert Benedict. Or is it Mr. Graydon?
My apologies, you are?
Reno Naruto, defense lawyer. We have met.
If you say so. Ashley Graydon. Enchanté. So,
I'll keep this. This is mine now.
I trust we can conclude this quickly.
But I'm not holding your flashy hat while we do it. I'm keeping it. It's mine now. I'm selling it. Pawnbroker style. Love it. Love it. Let's do a cross-examination of this boy. So we know statement 4 and 5, or sorry, 3, 4, and 5 were the ones I wanted to press. So let's start by this.
Where were you at around 1 in the morning on the night in question, sir? That is past the hour which I would normally retire. Certainly. I was not in the company of these rapscallions. You're able to prove that?
Objection!
Listen carefully, my learned Nipponese friend.
For you to appear to be under the gross misapprehension on this point.
What do you mean?
The witness maintains he was not at the scene of the crime. He has no obligation to prove his absence.
If your accusation is the witness is present at the scene,
the obligation lies with you to prove your assertion. You will fulfill that obligation before putting any more unreasonable questions to the witness.
Yeah, there's the Ace Attorney personality we love so much. A silent victory wiggle, thanks. A victory wiggle.
Even certain parties here present claim that my blood was found at the scene.
Hold it!
Blood was found at the scene of the crime. There's no question of that. Mr. Sholmes' chemical analysis has positively identified the substance as such. But I'm not only human to have blood running through my veins, am I? How can you be sure that the blood is mine? It could equally be the blood of one of these two miscreants. Every individual's blood has slightly different composition, it seems. Mr. Sholmes' chemical is able to differentiate... Spare me the science lesson! Who is this Sholmes character anyway? Oh, I assume all Londoners would know the name. He's a great, well, renowned detective. So even you are unable to bring yourself to say great detective. A great detective, you say?
Huh? Why?
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to say about that, Mr. Skulkin?
What, me?
No, the Mr. Skulkin next to you.
What? I've had to deal with this. How many times have I got to tell you?
You're not Big Bruv Sulky. He is Big Bruv Sulky. He's the fourth Skulkin brother. Mr. Nash Skulkin.
Hey, call blimey, Governor. You what?
Is it not the case that when Mr. Graydon just spoke, a thought went through your mind? Would you care to share that with the court?
Me thoughts? Oh, I don't have none of them. It must have been him.
You what?
I love these guys so much. Mr. Nash Skulkin, answer the question, please. What went through your mind when Mr. Graydon just spoke?
Nothing. I always think nothing. Gov nothing. I was just thinking. If he waves his arm like that, it's much more they'll open up a wound again, that's all.
What wound?
Where he took the bullet, of course. It's only 2 days ago. Ain't gonna be healed up yet. Yes, Nash! So I was, well, you know, I was worrying for a minute. Oh!
Els bells. I love them. The Skulky brothers, we got it, guys. We got it. We got it, the Skulky brothers.
Mr. Graydon, did you hear that?
What?
Your comrade is worried about you, it seems. On account of your injured arm.
My lord. Yes, Mr. Graydon?
I have no idea what these two wretches. You're holding your arm, my dude. Certainly, I should be expected to answer anything in relation to the mindless things.
We've been the whole chapter 2 of this court case and chapter 1 as well was literally all about their insinuations and the stuff they were saying. If he says no, he's a bad judge.
We know someone other than the victim was hit by a bullet in the scene of the crime 2 nights ago. And from the height of the bullet hole in the wall, that person was likely hitting the upper arm or thereabouts. And if we're not allowed to take what they say as truth anymore, then get them out of the room. That's the case. That's it. Get them out. If we're not able to take what they say as truth, they need to leave. That person was likely hitting the upper arm or thereabouts.
Perhaps you'd allow the court official to examine your arm, sir? The left arm. You're certainly clasping with your right hand as if it's in pain.
No, I refuse.
Okay, we know now. We know now. I'm sorry, we know now. We know now.
You've shown no evidence whatsoever that links me to these common thieves. If these guys say that you got a bullet in your arm, I'm sorry, we have to check it, dude. Like, we have to. Accordingly, I'm not obliged to print any such invasion of privacy. We've been doing this whole trial on invasions of privacy. My dude!
No. If that's the case, get him out of here then and, like, just arrest him.
As I said, I'm completely uninvolved in all this.
You were there earlier arguing with not only you were arguing with the accused and the person who died. The Skulkin brothers just identified you and said you had a bullet in your arm. My dude, there's 3 things right there. Shush.
I've never had anything to do with the pawnbrokery where this fellow...
Why would you lie like that? You had a good thing going and you lied.
I take offense at this insinuation that I was in any way involved.
You claim to have nothing to do whatsoever with Mr. Winnang's pawnbrokery?
My lord, the defense would like the last statement to be added to Mr. Graydon's formal testimony so we can press him with the... With the music box this we can talk about that. We also would we're gonna grill him. We're gonna press it first, then we're gonna grill him.
Continue with your testimony, Mr. Graydon.
I can't believe you just let away with that. That's crazy. That is crazy. The bottom line is I've never anything to do with the pawnbroker establishment where the man was killed. Oh, let's press it for... Listen, my dude. I have stopped saying my dude.
My dude?
Never anything to do with it? You forget that I was there, Mr. Graydon.
Yes!
On the very afternoon of the incident. Obviously, I'm not a complete stranger to the pawnbrokers. I'm currently on the lookout for an armchair to furnish my study. No, you were there to redeem an article. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What are these guys doing? They're like, oh, we don't know nothing. But then Mr. Gregson, you're a police officer. You gotta help out, bud.
Do you have something to add, Inspector?
Come again, sunshine?
You were there too, in fact, weren't you, Inspector? That afternoon.
Well, yes, I do remember meeting yourself in the pawnbroker that afternoon. You, your young Japanese assistant, Cesaro, and the accused were all present as I recall.
And that time, this witness, Mr. Graydon, was trying to acquire a particular article?
Well now...
I'm afraid I don't remember too clearly.
You get out too then.
What? But you must.
I'm not going to lie and pretend I remember something I don't.
I've lost all respect for Gregson. That's actually sad. I had some respect for Gregson. That's really sad. I've lost all respect for him. Greg showed us a picture before, didn't he? You know, from the cameras that Hurley installed in the Windy Banks? Yes, of course. Indeed, a gentleman picture bears a striking resemblance to the witness, I must say. Exactly, which proves that Mr. Graydon was in the shop on the afternoon in question. At no point have I denied that fact. I merely entered the shop to pursue an articles on sale and I have a word with the broker. Nothing more. I can't believe I lost all respect for you. That's very sad, Gregson. This makes no sense. I even said he was great. I said he was a good detective last time. I understand why Mr. Graydon might be trying to cover his tracks. But why would Gregson be trying to avoid giving testimony about what happened? That's all he's going to say on the matter, isn't it? But wait, we weren't asked to present the thing? Oh, I guess we're going to have to present it manually. I use no intention to send us anything. Yeah, let's do this. I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do. Sorry for skipping that, guys. I just knew what she was going to kind of like say at this one because we're going to present this. We don't skip dialogue usually. That's not something we do. I'm sorry that we kind of did. We won't do it in the future. I think it's just because I knew exactly what they wanted us to do. Have you ever seen this disc before, Mr. Graydon? Why? Is it supposed to mean something? The disc was onto the day of his murder in the pawn in Mr. Wendybank's shop. It was redeemed by the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, that afternoon, however. Somebody mysteriously appeared to try and take it from her. And that somebody was you, of course. Wasn't it, Mr. Graydon? As I've reiterated numerous times now, you are mistaken. That was not me. I've never seen that disc before in my life. It may have escaped your notice, but there's a small smear of blood on the disc. Ah, yes, resulting from an abrasion of the thumb, perhaps. That's right. The surface of the disc is covered in hundreds of tiny metal bumps. In the skirmish to acquire the disc, the thumb of the person who tried to take it suffered minor lacerations. So, while the disc bears the remnants of that skirmish in the form of a smear of blood, the thumb of the person in question must bear the remnants also, in the form of a scratch. Good gracious, indeed it must. Mr. Graydon, you refused to allow the court officer to examine your arm before. Are you going to refuse to allow us to examine your thumb? Because I have no doubt that it bears a small scratch consistent with the smear of blood on the disc. Come on, take off your gloves. Well, well. It would seem I underestimated you. What's the meaning of this? So you admit it now? You admit you have a scratch on your thumb? From when you attempted to take the disc from the defendant? He's hiding his hand behind his back as well. Order, order! Well, Mr. Graydon? It would appear these have been something of a misunderstanding here. I did not attempt to take the disc as you put it. No, quite the reverse. What are you trying to say? It's really quite simple, you see. The disc was mine from the outset.
You can still take something from someone if you own it. You can still take it. That's the definition of taking.
Is there a crime against taking item you own out of the pawn?
That's not the point we're making! We ain't making that point! We're making the point that there was a scuffle! We're making a point that you were shot! And you're just like, it was mine. That's like having a fight with someone and then the court's like, you had a fight with him. Well, no, you see, I was trying to take my glasses back and I punched him in the face. But those glasses were mine.
You see, Mr. Graydon, that in this piece of evidence, my learned friend has established a link between yourself and the incident.
Thank you, Van Zieks, thank you.
Accordingly, you will tell the court everything you know about this disc now.
Okay, so, he's lied. The Skulkin brothers lied, so we can't take anything he says really as fact anymore. They love a good liar in these courts, though. The British court system, am I right? I've seen it on Coronation Street all the time. Though I'm quite sure it has nothing to do whatsoever to do with the pawnbroker's murder. There's a note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. When that's the thing, yeah, we established that like there is a for McGilded sticker on it. We were like talking about this before, like, but like I didn't really think much of it myself.
The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling, on the day in question.
Gregson's not a filthy gutterling. Actually, I'm gonna smack you around the I proceeded once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. Okay, we'll press that. We'll press that. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. In other words, I had absolutely no reason to break into the shop later that same night. Okay, so we have a few things that we can press for sure. Okay, grand. So, the third thing you said was definitely one of them.
Did I hear you correctly, sir? McGilded, you say? The famous London philanthropist? Who perished in this very courtroom 2 months ago after being acquitted of a distinctly messy murder.
Yes, my lord. The one and the same.
Good lord. Mr. Graydon, are you saying McGilded and yourself were acquainted?
Yes, that's correct.
That doesn't prove anything though yet. Like, you can't really prove that nothing yet.
Order! Well, I certainly didn't expect to hear that name uttered here in my courtroom again.
According to what Gina told us, the disc was placed in a pawn on that fateful night 2 months ago. McGilded himself gave instructions to deposit it at the Windy Banks. It's funny that Mr. Graydon here is claiming the disc belongs to him. Then isn't it? In all likelihood, he's lying. So he appeared that afternoon at Windy Banks in order to get his hands on McGilded's disc for some reason.
Counsel, you will commence your cross-examination, please.
I would also like to note that he, called someone a gutterling. So if we could, at least hold him in contempt of court if he gets off here today. There's a note on the disc saying for McGilded, but the item belongs to me. The redemption ticket was stolen from me by the accused, that filthy gutterling on the day in question. Shut your goddamn mouth. I proceeded once to the shop in order to explain my situation and redeem my article. Yep. Okay, let's talk about this. You proceeded at once. Had you ever been to Windy Banks before? Only once, for the purposes of pawning something. But like many, I enjoy browsing in such establishments. So when you noticed that the pickpocket had taken your ticket, you chased after, is that correct? Yes, that's right. I didn't notice at first, of course, such is the art of pick the pickpurse. But when I did, I headed to the pawnbroker at once in order to reclaim my coat before the thief could. I was merely trying to recover that was rightfully mine in the first place. Was that the, Is this the coat? Oh, that's the one small box. That's the box. Okay. Then we have this. This is the overcoat. This one you just use the back of the redemption ticket. He's written in very neatly, but still perhaps around for the hand. It's hard to know what is the reverse side now. But what does that say? Is that who brought it in? Yeah, okay. I was merely trying to cover what was rightfully mine in the first place. He can say what he likes because he knows we have no evidence to contradict him on this. In the end, of course, the disc was taken by the police. Hold it! Yes, it was taken by Inspector Gregson here, wasn't it? That's right. This was this very man. Apparently the police are collecting anything that has a connection to Mr. McGilded. Right. Oh, Gregson, can we trust you? Can we trust you, Gregson? Excuse me. Is something wrong, Inspector?
What do you mean?
The last remark Mr. Grady made in his testimony seemed to trouble you in some way.
No, it didn't. It's not, leave it alone.
Let me ask you this, Inspector. Why is Scotland Yard gathering Mr. McGilded's possessions?
I can't tell you something like that, sunshine.
What is it, Inspector? Investigative secrets?
Yes, exactly. You should know all about that.
Magnus McGilded, who died so unexpectedly after his trial 2 months ago, a man renowned through the capital for his great contributions to public life. Yet, he had a dark side too.
Where are you going with this, Ranzakes?
I suppose the police are dealing with the aftermath of his nefarious activities, are they?
That's enough. Coppers like me have duties to carry out that we're not at liberty to talk about. That's all you need to know.
Duties conferred by Lord Strongheart, I presume.
The Lord Chief Justice appears to have a great faith in you, Inspector.
Oh, Gregson's getting worked up. The bottom line is, if you want to get more out of me, you're gonna need Lord Strongheart's paw print first.
What's all this about? Lord Strongheart, that's the guy, right? That's this guy. Yeah, he, absolute authority in judicial matters, including the appointment of lawyers. He's thoroughly intimidating man. Not that, I'm not afraid of him. Mr. Windybank. My name is Mr. Windybank. The boy is Gregson. Okay, sorry. I just wanted to sing a little British song for you guys. Classic British song. My favorite classic British songs are the ones that go like this. Oh, we are British, yeah. Or the ones that go like, you know, they say she's in the class, I seem. That's my two favorites. There's only two British styles of songs, and that's it. It's like there's something on between Gregson and Lord Van Zeeks here. It would appear that the inspector has revealed all he's at liberty to reveal. Mr. Graydon, let us return to your testimony. I'm trying to think now as well, because we just said that... Hold on a second. What... Can we get to what our man said here, the boy said here? In the course of just saying, the police, yes, taking Mr. Gregson wasn't, that's right, the very man apparently the clear has a connection to Mr. Gilda as evidence. Excuse me. So we can't talk about McGilded's... Hold on a second. Okay, Gladium Lord. Let's get back to... Okay, hold on. I'm trying to think. Like, this is... In other words, I was no reason to break into the shop later that night. Later that same night. Can we present... This is what I was thinking. Like, I think presenting... This is not evidence, because he already said, hey, yo. You know, like, he already said, like, hey, you know, it's already mine. So we're already established that he wants this. Could he have... Well, he wouldn't have broken in to get his jacket because he already had his jacket back. Could he have wanted to go and get the... Because the thing is, if it was in his name, he wouldn't have to go and... This is the only thing I can think of is, like, maybe he went in to get the small box. But is the small box... Is that the box with the manuscript? Let's try it. My reasoning is just this. Or maybe the disc was in the box. I thought it was the manuscript. No, my reasoning is that, like, he's, like, saying he has no reason for him to break in, right? He's already established that the music box thing was his, that this was his. He already had his jacket. He didn't need to break in to get his jacket. He got his jacket back. He stole Gina's jacket. Yeah, I don't know. And it seems like it is McGilded's stuff. You knew that and you went there with the intention of obtaining it for yourself. Conjecture again, and in any case, the disc was taken into custody by the police that afternoon. The witness had no reason to visit the pawnbroker again that night. Sorry, my learned friend. But that's not true. Oh, we're giving him and that's not true? Mr. McGill had another article at the pawn in Windybanks. As this, the pawnbroker's ticket proves. There were 2 articles belonging to Mr. McGill in the Windybanks pawnbrokery. The reason he broke into the shop that night was to recover the second one. Together with your 2 accomplices, the Skulkin brothers. This is the second ticket, is it? What had the man deposited? The article description reads, one small box.
Another vague description, it seems.
Are you suggesting that I broke into the pawnbroker with these clowns in order to steal some trinket box?
Yes.
I believe there are adequate grounds to suspect that you did. This is absurd. Why on earth would I do such a thing? The article had been forfeited. I could simply walk into the shop and purchase it. There will be absolutely no reason for me to resort to theft. That's a good point.
Gee, that just makes a solid argument.
So that means that for some reason, this Graydon fellow needed the small box that very night. Does it?
Hold on, don't you interrupt Iris ever!
It's time to put an end to this nonsense, my lord.
Could you be a little less cryptic, Lord Van Zeeks?
I do hate to ruin my learned friend's argument, but the truth is quite incontrovertible. On the night in question, no small box was taken from Windybank's pawnbrokery. And rest assured, the prosecution can prove it. If you can prove it, then you're a doo-doo.
Good gracious.
Inspector, show the photographic prints to the court if you please.
Yes, sir?
What prints?
These prints were taken from one of the detective's security cameras.
Hurley's red-handed recorders again. As previously explained, this plan is the shop layout. The victim's establishment was furnished with an automatic cameras in 2 locations. One was set to capture the counter when Mr. Windybank received his customers, and the other was set to capture the shelves on which the article was placed, for sale once forfeited. According to the information on this ticket,
McGilden's small box was been forfeited already. 2 days before the incident, 9 PM on the 13th of April precise. Which means it would have been on the shelves of the forfeited items in the shop front. Now, what I have here is a print taken by one of the cameras about 2 hours before the incident. That's 11 PM on the 15th of April. The victim certainly had a very full shop, it would appear.
Can we take a look at the picture? Are we allowed to take a look at this picture? It's going to be added to the court record. Like...
And then here we have another print. This was taken about 2 hours after the 2 hours after the incident. I'm almost doing the judge voice here. I see. You sound a lot like me now. So we have 2 pictures to compare.
Oh, stereoscope time! Let me kind of see. I'm trying to see any discrepancies in both of them.
Though I must say, placing them side by side leaves me cold.
The box! There's a box literally in the picture that has been moved to the side. You guys are done! Stereoscope boy, help me out here! That's starting to make my head ache.
Obviously, at Scotland Yard we consider theft as one possible motive in this case. We explored the possibility that something had been taken in addition to the victim's life. So your men have already compared the 2 prints earlier, Inspector.
Yes, sir.
We encountered every single item in these 2 photographic prints.
Have you?
And the yard's conclusion is that exactly the same number are present there in both.
In other words, nothing was taken from the pawnbroker the night in question. Van Zeeks, I'm already set. I'm already set. And my learned friend's assertion is nothing more than a hopeful fantasy. I don't believe it. If I could have just shown he'd stolen Mr. McGilden's pawn box.
Your dancing makes me angry!
I might have been able to break him down at last. You know what, Bruno? I've been thinking. I wonder if these 2 photographs really are exactly the same.
Yeah, you were on the same idea as I was as well.
So, counsel, in light of the evidence put forward by the prosecution, what is your position? It seems that in fact on the night in question nothing was stolen from the victim's establishment. Do you accept the prosecution's assertion?
I don't know. Could there be something? Yes, there is. Oh my god, there is. There is.
I wasn't sure at first, but there's a clear discrepancy between these two prints. What? You must identify the location in question for the court, counsel.
Oh no, you guys are toast. You guys are buttered toast, I tell ya.
Granted, these two prints are almost identical. However, there's one minor discrepancy between them. What? When you view the two pictures in stereoscopically...
There it is. There it is.
A single area stands out as being different, the location of this small box.
Sorry, small box. Oh.
Let me, wait. Unbelievable. By Jove, you're right. How extraordinary.
What this tells us is very simple. Mr. McGilder's small box was indeed not stolen from Mr. Winniebanks on the night in question. However, there can be no doubt that somebody picked up this particular box and then returned it to the place on the shelves.
I was just not the small box originally deposited by Mr. McGilder is in fact.
Yes, the very same small box I just identified in those two photographic prints. This is awesome. Well done.
Mindless guesswork. What if it was?
Why would you move a box at 2 a.m. at night? Who would do that?
Which means quite simply that nothing has changed.
That may be true, but... Alright, Mr. McGilder's boxes wasn't stolen. But doesn't it changes everything. Because someone probably took what was ever in the box out of the box.
I believe this changes everything about the case. How can that possibly be?
The crucial point in this fact is the fact that it was moved, that what was moved was a small box.
In other words, we have to consider what might have been inside that box. What are you suggesting?
You right, Graydon there? Huh, you right, Graydon?
I'm suggesting that we need to examine that box as soon as possible.
A vital piece of evidence is sitting on the shelves of Winniebanks as we speak.
I love when he gets so confident in himself. That won't be necessary. Some little box belonging to a man who died 2 months ago can't possibly be relevant to this trial.
My dude, just saying it's not relevant doesn't make it not relevant. I will literally make fun of your hair.
The court does not uphold your objection, Lord Van Zieks. Bailiff, arrange for an officer to go to Baker Street at once.
This judge can be bad sometimes. He's way better than the judge in Phoenix Wright. Like, he is miles better.
Obtain the small box in question and bring it back here for further examination. We should have a report within half an hour. I think perhaps we should recess for a short while till the evidence is brought forth. To be hoodwinked by such a farce. Disappointing.
Hoodwinked is a classic movie.
I beg your pardon, Lord Van Zieks.
This is nothing but a smokescreen. A Nipponese specialty, would seem. Jesus, dude, calm down, will ya? Just calm down. What are you trying to say?
My learned friend has persisted with the same line of reasoning from the very beginning. That this witness's intent was to steal an article belonging to Mr. McGilder from the pawnbrokery. Yet common sense tells us that none of the articles of value are even worth stealing in the first place. Exactly. It would be beyond absurd to break into a place for the purpose of stealing such commonplace property. If your lordship recalls, Mr. McGilda perished 2 months ago, immediately after the conclusion of this trial. A trial in which he was found not guilty. A trial which had established he was an upstanding member of society, his reputation implied in fact. So I propose a toast to my learned friend at his most insightful defense. Yeah, we technically, in the eyes of the law, proved that he was an upstanding citizen. That is true. The articles his upstanding member of society pawned were entirely ordinary. A black overcoat that just happened to have a music box disc in one of the pockets and a small box. I assure you, I wouldn't accept it even if the man tried to make a gift of such things to me.
It's not so we go to choose, is it?
Look at these guys all talking.
It's funny because there's like, I think what's gonna end up happening eventually is like Sholmes is gonna like have to testify in some way. But I wonder what Susato like, does Susato even play a part in this at all? I'm wondering because like she, you know, it's kind of like she was a big part of this whole story. I wonder if she will like, I don't know. I don't know. I'd love to see her come back. It is incumbent on the defense now to bolster its argument. To explain what possible significance these commonplace articles pawned by the fine citizen could have. Well, counsel, is your argument in fact demonstratable? Are you able to show proof that the disc or the box are in any tangible way related to the case? Well, what's the matter, Bruno? We all know that they're related, don't we? They're both vital pieces of evidence. Yes, of course. You and I both know that. We know McGilda's true character. We know the disc is significant, even if we don't know why. But if we explain all that to the court at this point, we'll have to acknowledge that McGilda's acquittal 2 months ago was a mistake. That the defense's argument was flawed, based on false information. Oh no. And that would mean admitting that Gina's committed perjury. But Ginny, could it be that Van Zeke knows? Is that why he's doing this now? Because he anticipated everything? But maybe this could be a great opportunity for us. Sorry? What do you mean, Iris? Well, is that what you always say, Bruno? Sooner or later, the truth comes out. Every time. Alright, the exact significance of the things that Mr. Gilda deposited with Mr. Winnibag is something that only Gina can explain to the court. Are we bringing Gina in? But if I put her on the stand to testify about that, it could critically damage our chances of winning this case. But like she needs to, I think we're at a stage where we kind of like have to. What's the right thing to do here? Yeah, no, like, I'm sorry, but we have to. My lord, the defense would like to make a proposal. Oh? What proposal, counsel? While the court awaits the arrival of Mr. McGilda's small box, I would like to call the defendant, Miss Gina Lestrade, to the witness stand. Oh, my lord. The defendant? To what end? It's to do with the various articles deposited with the bags by Mr. McGilda, my lord. Mr. Strayed has information related to them. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear what she has to say. I'm very nervous for Gina because we love Gina. We don't want her to like be any more
like, implicated, I suppose, is the answer. But, like, we have to do this, I think, if we want to get to the truth. It will prove the significance of the articles in question, and once and for all. Well, things are becoming interesting. I presume you've considered the implications of the testimony you're proposing. In particular, the impact it will have on the accused standing and indeed your own. I have. Lord Van Zieks, would you care to explain the last remark? The prosecution accepts the defense proposal. I move to interrupt the cross-examination for the current witnesses to hear their accused from the accused herself. Very well, if you have no objection. So the court will now hear the testimony of the defendant, Miss Gina Lestray. The witnesses currently in the stand may step down. Wait, is that which witnesses, though? Does he mean the Skulkin brothers? Oh, him? Oh, him! Wait. You, sir, shall remain in the stand while Mr. Stray testifies. Oh, what? I don't know if that's a good idea, but okay, we'll do it. Alright then, Gina. It's time. I know this will be hard, but please, put your faith in me here. Good luck, Bruno. She's not gonna feel happy about this. She's not gonna feel, you know, enthused about having to testify in this case. I don't like the idea of forcing her at all to do anything that she doesn't want to do, but here we are. Here we are. It seems that no matter what, we kind of like have to. Like like I said, I respect the heck out of Gina. I don't want her to like feel upset or anything, especially since she's gone through so much already. But again, we kind of like have to deal with it in some way. Yeah. The articles that Mr. McGilda deposited in Windybank's pawnbrokery are intimately related with the omnibus case trial which was heard in this courtroom 2 months ago. Yes, and I remember this young lady being brought before me in that trial as well. That's right, my lord. Her testimony helped establish the innocence of the defendant, Mr. McGilded. The omnibus case was intriguing to say the least. And now here we are all again. The same players in that trial facing each other once more. A twist of fate, perhaps, my Nipponese friend? Oh, the taking the breath before we go. Remember that. Allow me to recap the events of 2 months ago. An old brickmaker was stabbed to death in an omnibus running along London's winter streets. Oh yeah. Oh my god, thrice fried, wasn't it? Apart from the victim, there was only one other person in the carriage, Mr. McGilded. Naturally, he was the prime suspect for the murder. But as the trial progressed, another possibility emerged. And it would never be Gina, you hear me? It would never be my Gina. That murder, in fact, took place above the defendant's head on the roof deck. With the body then being dropped through the skylight into the carriage below. It was Mr. Stray whose testimony brought that possibility to light. At the time of the incident, Mr. Stray was concealed under the seat in the carriage, hoping to pick the pockets of the unsuspecting passengers. Then, immediately after the trial, having been acquitted of the murder, Mr. McGilda died in the very courtroom in the most extraordinary of circumstances. A mystery that remains unsolved even now, 2 months on, as indeed does the omnibus murder itself. Be that as it may, I recall neither this nor the small box being mentioned in the course of the proceedings. Mr. Stray? Would you tell the court now, please, what really happened in the omnibus 2 months ago, I mean?
I don't know what you mean. I said all of what I know. And what about everything you told us yesterday from inside your prison cell? Please listen, Mr. Stray. This is extremely important. Again, like, she's still... Again, she's not very trusting of people. And it's also like, you know, again, it seems like someone's trying to get her in trouble here also, again, you know? Remember, little girl, if it transpires that you willingly withheld information in the trial 2 months ago, the Home Office will seek to prosecute for perjury. I will make sure that doesn't happen. And naturally, you will lose all credibility as a witness. Although, let's face facts. You have little credibility to lose. Van Zeeks, you are the worst lawyer I've seen! You are the worst lawyer I've seen in these games. Ginny, don't listen to him. Please, you have to trust Runa now. Iris, we're on your side. Alright then. I'll talk. It's the right choice, Gina. Well, it was seen that my learned friend is hell-bent on bringing the entire courtroom down about his ears. So be it. I must confess that I'm struggling to understand what on earth is happening here. However, it would appear that Mr. McGilden's pawned articles that are extraordinary case of the omnibus harbour secrets of which we have been hitherto unaware. So, Mr. Stray, you will now give your testimony before the court about the events of 2 months ago. You will reveal the truth, a commodity sorely lacking in your original statements. Dude, can I say this right now? I'm very frustrated right now. The amount of people who have lied in this courtroom, no one's been this rude to them. Nobody's been this rude to the Skulkin brothers who lied constantly. We had a trial last time where, like, everyone was lying, and nobody said a goddamn thing to them. So I'm just asking, why is it that the 17-year-old girl is getting grilled more than the 2 guys who have admitted that one of the guys... By the way, they said that that one of the guys that was on the stand got shot, and we did nothing about it. We found out they were lying 3 times in a row, and we did nothing about it. So can someone explain to me, while Beardy McBearder Eyebrows over here is freaking telling Gina that she is a liar, when he's accepted liars into the court and accepted their testimony over and over again? Someone explain it to me. Oh, my lord. This is it, and everything's going to come out. Like Van Zeek said. This could bring the whole courtroom down about my ears. But as a lawyer, I'm prepared to take that risk. You know. The real truth of the omnibus case. Truth is that the brickmaker Cove was in the cabin of the omnibus at the time. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw a disc on the floor. All of a sudden, I heard a scream from over my head, and a pair of that roof deck went to call the stops. That's when McGillen slipped the driver into something to do run to the pawn shop roundabout. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing about what I've seen or heard. Is that all true? Good grief, this is outrageous. What you just told the court bears almost no resemblance to your testimony 2 months ago. Dude, the Skulkin brothers lied about thieving and shooting. One second, guys. I'm just trying to see if there's any new games that will supplement this game called Take the Judge Outside and Beat the Head Off Him. I'm just trying to see. That looks really cool. What's this? Noob? The Factionless. This looks really fun. No, there's no game apparently that's that supplements this, so I'm gonna have to just imagine it in my mind. As I say, my lord. Then there's every chance I may have adjudicated in error in Mr. McGilden's trial. It sounds very much to me as the man deliberately deceived this court, O'Reilly, in an effort to cover up the most wicked of schemes. Without doubt, your lordship is correct. A great injustice was done in this courtroom 2 months ago. You know what the injustice is? Both your hairstyles. That's what the injustice is. The action of the accused in that trial, of the witness, and of my learned friend are entirely inexcusable. I did what I did with the evidence ahead of me, in front of me. There's nothing else I could do, okay? I don't believe it. The whole trial was a farce, it's all lies.
We never have liars in this courtroom. Like 10 minutes ago, when the Skulkin brothers were talking and the other guy lied too.
Yeah, wrong, the lawyer. Miss Naruto, the lawyer there, didn't know nothing about it.
Handbag, you don't stop. You're a liar too. You're a big liar. You're a massive liar, I know you.
He managed to 7-up, didn't he? One operation to get a man off scot-free.
You didn't even tell us about a bullet like 10 minutes into this. You were literally 2 hours into this before you told us about the bullet.
Unforgivable, stop. The lies have to stop, stop.
Yes, the defense made a terrible error of judgment. I intend to take full responsibility and suffer whatever consequences are deemed appropriate. However, it's imperative that the court allows a witness to elaborate on her testimony, because the true significance of McGilda's pawned articles must be brought to light. Very well, my learned student friend. Given the depths of the calamity you've just plunged yourself into, this may well be worth hearing.
Words fail me, the situation is utterly deplorable. We never have liars in here, ever! Oh, and I never let them just lie as well. Where are the Skulking brothers right now? Wait, we have a liar up on top of the... No, he didn't lie either, of course he didn't. The 17-year-old girl, though! Jesus Christ, she's a liar. Mr. Naruto. You can tell I'm frustrated. I'm like, this is, I think it's intentionally biased, but like, holy hell. I will decide upon your fate following the conclusion of this trial. You know what my fate is? Me and you one-on-one outside.
Of course, my lord.
No, not of course.
Blimey, Miss Naruto.
She's gonna see that this dude is literally taking a bullet for her as well, like, you know?
Now, counsel,
proceed with the cross-examination. They asked us, he said he wanted to elaborate. I think everything's true. Does he just want us, like, to press all of her statements just to make, basically, like, I don't know, like, so she can talk more?
Hold it!
So she can, like, kind of, like, speak more, elaborate on what she said. You said you were hiding in the cabinet at the time as well. Were you, Mr. Stray?
If I remember rightly, in the storage compartment underneath one of those seats...
The Skulkin brothers said that the man beside us got shot, and we brushed past the fact that he was holding his arm, but by God, the 17-year-old girl was scared and lied a bit. In a room full of people who were constantly calling her a gutterling. Like, oh my God. You expect her to be truthful? Society has literally knocked this girl down 20 rungs of the ladder every single day, and you expect her to have some respect for the judicial system, or cops, or the freaking rich people in this world. You expect her to have that respect?
Yes, right. It's pitch black under there, so you can't see nothing at all.
Why is your back to... Your Honor! Your Honor, look at this! My lord, look at this now! What are they doing? Your Honor! Now, in your testimony 2 months ago, I feel certain that you claim Mr. McGilda was the sole passenger, did you not?
False testimony, my lord.
That's what you told me I had to say.
But it's important that you tell us the truth now. Were Mr. McGilda and the victim acquaintances?
I don't know. But I did hear him talking a lot.
What were they talking about?
Well, I couldn't hear too well. But if I had to say, I think it was about money or something. They kept talking about buying and not buying.
Perhaps business or dealings of some kind.
Well, anyway, they got louder and louder. It started to sound like a proper fight. It's pretty scared by then. I hardly dared to breathe. And then all of a sudden, I heard a noise like someone kneeling over, keeling over on the floor. And then blooming loud and all.
And I believe you let out an involuntary scream, so you were scared. Oh my God, poor dear. It's understandable now. The Skulkin brothers, they weren't scared, but we let them off free.
Someone's gonna say, well, they're also gonna get done for perjury.
But they didn't get grilled by the judge! The judge was like, oh yeah, you guys can go on. And let them speak even more. Don't try and give me that stuff in the comments, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Don't try it. Don't try it.
That's what gave me away. When the Irishman dragged me out from under the seat, I saw the disc on the floor.
Yeah, I think they just want... Yeah, I think that's general, because all the statements are true. There's no, like, evidence against this, really.
Was the disc you saw this disc? Yeah, I reckon it probably was. It was right next to the cove line on the floor.
Could this disc have belonged to the victim, perhaps?
I don't know, but McGilda picked up pretty smartish.
and then sat at the cove with a knife and his belly up on the seat. What did he say to you at the time? He told me not to say a word about it or seen or heard to no one, about the disc and all. I was dead scared. The way he was looking at me, I thought, if I didn't go along with it, he stuck with that knife too.
The skulking brothers. Honest gentlemen.
Oh, is that what you gotta say? And he started to ask me a load of questions. Like, what was her name, or I lived in that, and he asked me where, but asked him where she lived, and you guys are like, oh man, like, oh, she's a gutterling. But after a while, what happened in the carriage was noticed. Guess what? First there was a kind of rapping.
What are you guys doing, huh?
All of a sudden, I heard a scream.
The slops. I love that she calls them the slops, by the way. That's really funny.
There were two gentlemen occupying the seats on the roof deck, I believe. That's right.
Oh my god, yeah, Liar McLierson's here. Are they done for perjury? No, they weren't done for perjury. At all.
Two big Liar McLiersons. When they screamed, the driver pulled up their horses on McGilden's, got me out of sight.
Out of sight? Where?
Back onto the seat where I started off. Once the carriage came to an halt, the two cows from the roof ran to fetch the slops. If they immediately left to fetch the police, it would appear that they entirely unrelated to the incident. So I left Mr. Gilda's driver and you still at the scene. Yeah, the only driver, I didn't know I was there because I was under the seat. I heard the cab door open with a voice from outside.
The driver, yes, he also testified in the trial, I believe. A fellow by the name of Beppo, if memory serves. I think he also lied.
What did McGilden and the driver say to each other? I know what happened and stuff like that mainly. That's when Mr. McGilden slipped the driver some tin to do a run to the pawn shop.
Yeah, I think we're doing the right thing here.
The pawn shop obviously being Windybanks on Baker Street.
Just a moment, counsel. Do you mean to tell me that the driver gave false testimony over the trial as well? You knew that! They lied so many times! Ah!
You knew this. You knew this. Perhaps he searched into the pawnbroker, slipped his mind when he was in the sand. Oh my god, she's... Yes, the old man who's lived his whole life, you're like, perhaps let's make excuses for him. 17-year-old girl,
you're going to jail. You're going to prison. You're going to have a life. You're going to be there forever. Indeed, Lord Van Zeeks. Indeed-yo. What is up with these guys here? Wait, we can pursue them. Maybe we'll try and pursue them in a bit. Yeah, we'll try and pursue them because even if you, because apparently I didn't know you can pursue people even if the thing didn't come up.
When I saw him do that, I remember thinking, okay, what's what? It's gotta be worth for you, Bob.
Yes, Gina was sure the disc must be worth more than Mr. Windybank was suggesting, wasn't he? I remember her quibbling over him in the price that afternoon at the pawnbrokery.
The driver looked pretty happy when Mr. McGill flashed some brass in his face. He went running off a lick. Then the bog trotter called to me and told me to come out from the dog's cabin. He threatened me not to snitch, not to say nothing to no one about what I've seen or heard.
Oh, we should have pressed that as well. Okay, sorry.
Well done. Okay, Ginny's really put faith in you, Bruno.
Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face charge of perjury once the trial's over. So I need time now to get... Yeah, they're... Pressing on every statement. Yeah, they're 100%.
And one other thing.
What's that?
Yeah.
Take this, isn't it strange they've been whispering to each other the entire time? Yeah, the court allows that, of course, because they're not 17-year-old girls. It looks like they've been having a secret discussion about something. I'm not sure I'm completely comfortable with that. What if there's anything I can do about it? See, I think the issue is that, 17-year-old girls, big liars that go to prison, people who lie and cheat in the court, other people and hold information and things like that. As long as they're, big liar boys, it's okay.
Threatened you how exactly?
Tell me I'll be able to scarp if I do exactly what you said.
Which includes giving false testimony to court 2 months ago.
Yeah, it did. Can you imagine doing that? Can you imagine someone did that?
There's 2 people having a powwow beside us right now.
Yeah, that's it. And there's one other thing you said.
Which was?
You told me I have to hang on to the ticket from the pawn shop and make sure not to lose it.
The ticket? Well, I never.
I said I'd even show up to get the tickets off me before 2 months passed. I had to go to the pawn shop and pay the money to keep it in the lug, to stop being forfeited. He left me some brass to pay for it.
But really, why would Mr. McGill have done such a thing? He's an upstanding citizen. He's not a 17-year-old girl. Depositing his overcoat with the pawnbroker before the arrival of the police, it makes no sense at all.
There seems to be...
By the way, I'm not angry at the game. I love this game. I don't like the idiots in the court. That's it. And that's the same with Ace Attorney, with the other Ace Attorney games. What McGill had the driver deposit Windy bag was something that he didn't want the police to see. Something very important that he needed to hide at all costs.
Anyway, after that, he let me go, so I legged it before the copper showed up.
So he pressed every single statement.
Well done, Gina. Okay, so Gina's really put her faith in you, Bruno. Yes, and to thank her, she'll have to face the charge of perjury once the trial's over. It's crazy.
I looked up the law, by the way, online right now, and it does say in British law only 17-year-old girls can be done for perjury. It's crazy. It's mad. British law is weird.
It's time to really go for it. Press her in every statement. So we have to... Okay, so I guess we have to pursue those boys then as well. So we'll press this again.
Hold it.
Listen. Stop it, what you're doing there.
Is there something you'd like to share with the court, Inspector Gregson and Mr. Graydon?
Inspector! Mr. Graydon! Oh, blimey, you're trying to give me a heart attack?
You've been whispering to each other for quite some time now. Tell us, what is the discussion about?
Discussion? With this fellow? Pull the other one, sunshine. Only 17-year-old girls lie in the court. You think I'm going to talk about the shady jet like this?
I have nothing to say to this uncouth detective after he deprived me of that disc that was rightfully mine. But they've clearly been talking the entire time I've been cross-examining Gina. It's as if they've been negotiating.
Thank you, Mr. Stray. Thank you, counsel. I've heard enough. I believe we now have reasonable understanding of what actually transpired on the omnibus.
It would appear that on a night 2 months ago, a negotiation was taking place on the omnibus. A negotiation concerning the disc. However, matters did not run smoothly. When the parties involved began to quarrel over the price, McGilda took what he wanted by force, at the expense of the other man's life.
Which proves my point. The disc clearly extremely valuable in some way.
I don't understand why as yet. And 2 days ago, precisely 2 months after the omnibus incident, McGilda's coat and its contents were due to be forfeited.
I don't know what I should do with the ticket. I mean, the cove died right after his trial. I knew that.
So you decided you would try to claim the articles as your own?
Well, why not, eh? They ain't going to be forfeited. Why shouldn't I have done them? Anyway, you can't blame me for thinking about it. Thinking ain't no crime.
Actually, thinking in Britain as a 17-year-old girl is a crime. Mr. Stray, it would appear Mr. Gilda was prepared to kill in order to take possession of this disc. Do you know why that would be?
I ain't got a clue. But I reckon it must be worth a fair bit of brass. He's probably going to sell it. And you can't blame him for thinking that. Thinking ain't no crime.
Actually, folding your arms is a crime if you're a 17-year-old girl.
My lord, who's that? Oh, the evidence your lordship requested has been located and is ready for the court's inspection, sir.
Oh my god. The mysterious little box. I'm so excited to pause my McGilda 2 months ago. This is so exciting.
There's no doubt in my mind. That's a key piece of in this far-reaching puzzle.
Excuse me? Already? We're gonna save our current progress, of course. Save over in episode 2. The speckled. Oh, remember the speckled bat? Okay, so that's a good place to kind of like end this video because we're going into part 4 of this trial. I think it's, you know, heating up very, very much so. What I can say is this, is that, like, of course it's frustrating because, again, we've seen liars in the court. We've seen them. And we can say that it's a much more serious crime to have someone acquitted for murder and then have them, like, you know, but, like, in a reality, like, if you look at this from a reality perspective, he's freaking dead. He burnt alive. Not only that, let's not even talk about that part, okay? Let's not even talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that, like, literally in front of us in the court, a man was, someone said, I was in the shop with him and he got shot. And the court was just like, let's just brush past this. Let's just brush past it. I guess what I'll say is this, is that this is a great game. I'm having a really good time with it. And I'll see you guys in the next one. We're gonna be, I say we're gonna be finishing up soon. Like I say, it seems like it's getting to like a big climax. That box seems to be one of the most important parts of this trial. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.